Hi there folks, Borislav247 here with another Days Gone Challenge Mode video. And on this video folks, I'm going to show my run on the challenge Dead Before Daylight. Now, I can't stress this enough folks, I hate this challenge. I hate this challenge with a passion. It's not really that enjoyable for me, and on top of that, in order to get the high scores on it, you just have to play it batshit crazy. You really do. So a lot of people will be thinking, why are you actually playing this challenge now? Well, I'm going to show you folks. Just one second. Right then folks, here is the global top 25 rankings for the Dead Before Daylight challenge. And as you can see folks, the top of the table here, the top 7 in the world, feature some insanely high scores for this particular challenge. Because I can tell you from experience, anything over 65,000 on this challenge is a very, very good score. Now, here is the problem I currently face. I do currently sit on this leaderboard folks, but the big problem I have right now is that I am dangerously close to going off it. And don't get me wrong, it's not a challenge that I particularly care for a great deal. However, the reason why it's so important for me to be in these global top 25 rankings is basically to lay credence to the fact that my tutorials and whatnot are really solid. And the fact that when I feature on these leaderboards, it shows everybody in the world I know what I'm doing on these challenges. I know how they work. I have a very good knowledge of them. So it's important to me to remain in the global leaderboards. And I feature on virtually all of them at the moment. So folks, without any further ado, let's get to it and let the madness commence. Right folks, to start off with, it's usually just a big grab right at the start, but that IDF pup is very important. A few other items around here. I'm basically looking to get just as many items as I can and then get back over into the room that I started in, because I have a very specific way of starting this madness. And rest assured folks, this run is brutal. I'm about to take more slaps than Chris Rock at a Will Smith convention. It's gotta be that kind of party. So at this point, barrel out there, explode it. Now, you're looking for the explosive kills that come after the initial explosion. There they are, you can see them coming up on screen. Now, you will also notice, folks, throughout this run that I don't use the crates too often. Basically because, yes, they do deal explosive damage, but there is no fire that comes off them after the initial explosion. So you're never going to get any of the big points that you will get from, say, the barrels and the petrol cans. Now, I normally look to get around the 40 mark on the multiplier before starting to head onto the first floor. Just basically to get the numbers up a wee touch in terms of how many freakers are actually coming into the building. Now, it's worth noting as well, folks, that in order to get the high scores, understandably, you require a gold on every sub-challenge. And these 4 sub-challenges are basically getting 100 kills with the Growler, which is on the top floor. You also need to get 50 kills with any of the guns while in focus mode. You also have to stay in the house for 5 full minutes. And the last one is you require 50 explosive kills. And trust me folks, when you see just how many bloody explosives there are in this house to set off, it's not a tough ask. But the first point I want to make as well, as to something very important, is to do with the multiplier. Now, the multiplier is not the be-all and end-all in this particular challenge, because after the first 25 on the multiplier, all your kills are at a standard rate for score-wise. And by that, what I mean is the multiplier could be sitting at what it is right now at 70, and a standard kill will get you 40 points. The multiplier further on in this game could be sitting at 200, and you will still get 40 points for a standard kill. Because in the course of this run, I do actually lose a multiplier at some point, but it's not something you really need to worry about because it doesn't make a massive difference to your scoring. And you'll see what I mean because I'm pretty sure I lose it at some point on this absolutely crazy run. And as you can see, folks, it's this is how you have to approach this entire challenge. It is, you're taking hits. It is frustrating beyond belief. Honestly, it's not one I take incredible enjoyment from. But let's say I had a job in hand here. I wanted to vastly increase my score, which I currently have on the leaderboard. And now I'm about to enter a really tricky section because I've been killed a few times trying to do this particular section the way I do it. You are looking to run into the fire every time. You are looking to take a lot of damage, and you basically have to make sure that you can get out when you put yourself into a tight situation. And that's coming up very soon. Because there is, yeah, as you can see, I'm getting a lot of the explosive kills, and that is making a huge difference on this run. At this point, folks, I honestly wasn't even aware that I was doing so well. I thought this was just a very standard run, but this part is probably the most, the craziest and the most dangerous part. I've been killed many a time trying that part there. You sometimes just don't get out of there. But at this point now, I know I usually look for roughly about 1 minute and 30 seconds to 1 minute 25 before heading upstairs. And at this point now, I've only got one. Well, there are 2 sub-challenges still to take care of, but the last sub-challenge takes care of itself because basically you just have to stay in the house. And at this point, it's not a problem because I've got the growler in my hands. So I'm aiming high, so I'm trying to get as many headshots as possible. And it's really just starting to run the clock down because I can see wave 5 incoming, so I know there's quite a lot coming. Only have about another 20 or so in order to get the gold on the sub challenge, the gold in the sub challenge for the growler, that is. And it's only when I actually get the gold for the third sub challenge that I just realise, wait a minute, I'm on a hell of a score here. Because this is another piece of information worth knowing. There is potentially 11,000 points at the end of this particular run. 6,000 will come from being in the house for 5 minutes total, but there is also a 5,000 points time bonus. Now, I know it's time based, but I don't know exactly how that is triggered. And trust me, you do not get it every time you play this challenge. So at the end of this run, I was just praying that that time bonus would come into play. And oh boy, when I seen the score, I was frickin' delighted. That is a really, really tough score to get. Just how good is it? I'm just going to show the leaderboard in just 1 second. Because that score basically is the 5th highest on the planet. Only 4 other people have scored higher. And an apology to my friend MC Enterprise, who I've knocked out of the top 5, but it is what it is, my friend. As always, folks, thank you very much for watching the video, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Take care.